Hey, Shaka guys. My name's Dylan, and I am starting a YouTube channel. I'm a baseball card collector. I've been collecting pretty much my entire life since I was 5, 6 years old. I'm 41, so that was 1985, 1986. I remember my first cards that I was purchasing at the store were 1986 Topps. In 1987, I was fully in. I just want to talk about mainly vintage cards here, but I'll talk about baseball cards in general. And I watch all the YouTube channels out there, and I love them. And I'm really dove deep in this year, and it's the first time I've kind of been alone in this hobby for pretty much, for 35 years, and just by myself in it. There was one time I had a friend with me, and we would buy a bunch of wax, and that was during a period of like 3 years, in 2008 till 2011, and I got really heavy back into buying wax, and we were just cracking it open, and that was fun. But basically, been by myself, we both kind of, it was got a little out of control, so he stepped away, but I was still collecting vintage the whole time and through. And now that I watch all these YouTube channels, it just inspired me. And so thanks guys, everybody who's inspired me out there. I'll mention their names later in, along this thing keeps going. I'm not doing this to make any money. I'm doing this because I really enjoy it, and maybe this turns into something that I can just have a really good time at. I'm a top seller on eBay. I've been selling on eBay for 20 years. I think 2001 is when I started. I'm a top seller in there. Like I said, I sell just standard common cards, anything from $1.79, I think, is my cheapest card now, to upwards of maybe $20. I do sell some other stuff occasionally, but for now, that's where I've been my focus. All the wax that I opened in the prior years, I sell, all the Ken Griffey Juniors and all the Hall of Famers, but now I'm breaking it down even further and selling all the other stuff. And it all seems to sell. There's a lot of collectors out there. So I just thought I'd make a show of what I collect as a personal just pleasure. And also, I think baseball cards, my whole life, has taught me so many lessons about finances. And so baseball cards to me aren't just collecting. I'm a super collector. Like, I'm organized. I love it. As you can see, the wall I built and everything I do is based off of the passion I have for baseball cards. But it wasn't, I know there's a lot of people out there that are, you're either a collector or you're an investor. I just think there's a good combo of both. I've always thought that my whole life since I was a kid. Looking on the back of the stats, and you follow these things, and you start picking up on things, and then I learned how to invest in stocks because of baseball cards, and everything I've ever done is literally because of, like, financially, the baseball card world, which is really weird to say, but it's the truth. And I think there's a lot of lessons to learn in baseball cards, and the statistics on the back, and the things that they've taught me over my life, and I want to share all that. So let's start off with today with a super simple episode of just the card I just purchased, and I think it's a epic card. And put my little stand out here. I'm gonna make some better ones over time. This was for non-graded cards. I have on my desk when I list cards and stuff, but I bought this card. I'm not too much in pre-war, but I just kind of started. And this one is a Super Hall of Famer, and it's a 1935 Goody 4-in-1. It's a Jimmie Foxx, graded 3 SGC. I'll get into my grades and why I collect things later. But I just want to focus on this card at the moment and just go down this road. And I love this card. I'm starting to get into these cards because I think the value is there. A lot of stuff have taken off, obviously, over the years. I'm not a super modern collector, so I wasn't caught up in that crazy bubble that we had there. I've really just always focused on vintage, and I've always been a high grade vintage, not high grade 7s, 6s, and 8s. I like a lot of the off-centered stuff. If it's off-centered, top to bottom, not left to right. I like the top to bottom off center. I just think you get a good deal there. But so I'm really ventured into this low grade stuff, because a lot of the YouTube guys I follow and kind of inspired me, and there's a lot of good cards on there with some good color. I'm really interested. My whole thesis over my life since I was young, no one taught me baseball cards. I just kind of taught myself. I went to the card shop down the street, Baseball Cards Plus in Huntington Beach, California. Don't know if you guys are aware of it. You know, I love the place. It's awesome. But I was young. No, I never was like taught what to buy and this and that. I just remember looking at card shops and just being infatuated with the older stuff and the vintage stuff and the history of it. So anyways, back to the card. It's like starting to see I could kind of go a little older now and get a better deal because the stuff is just crazy right now. The Mickey Mantles, the Roberto Clementes, the Willie Mays, which are still undervalued in my opinion, and a lot of the stuff is, all of it really, compared to the new stuff. But the old stuff's really undervalued in my opinion, and so I'm starting to tiptoe into it, and then I take root on, I'm going to go with low grades. I'm going to just go with the color of the card and the other aesthetics of the card that I appreciate. This thing has round corners, which I never would have bought a rounded corner. I was like, thing growing up to me was like all my friends trading cards with them. Oh, your corners are good. Corners got to be sharp, and I still love that because it feels like it's fresh out of the pack. But this older stuff, it's really nice looking, and I'm starting to go down, getting a little more into this. So the centering's a little off, but it's very nice. The coloring good, and Jimmie Foxx, I mean, gosh, he's one of the greatest baseball players that ever lived. Maybe top 6, my opinion. I mean, if you base it off of what other players said about him, and Ted Williams and plenty other players, and the statistics, he's quite a player. So yeah, this card's really nice. Pretty stoked on it, and it was I think I paid $140 on this. This was a 4 sharp corners purchase. I do recommend going on there and shopping. They have great deals on there and great customer service. Super stoked on them. And I don't know who the back players are. Detroit players, so obviously it's not the same guys. I haven't done research on the other players, but Jimmie Foxx, it's the same picture they used on probably, I think it was a 33 or 34 Goudey, which is, I mean, I'm just guessing here, throwing out on top of my head, a 3, probably $600, maybe even higher, maybe $800, $900. So why not get this? $140, really nice looking, and you can score them. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm going, and so I hope you guys enjoy the future episodes, and I would continue talking for another 10 hours on this, and many more things in my collection. I just kind of want to touch the base on the collection thing and the investment part as well. I think it's a double. I think you have to be married. I think they both are important, especially if you're married like I am. To go down the road, you're spending money that is both of yours and your wife's. You got to make sure that it's being spent in a proper way. And it doesn't mean my opinions are correct, but I like to go down the road that I feel comfortable going down. So yeah, I'm super excited to share the knowledge that I've learned over the years and what I have come to appreciate in the hobby. And I'm excited for this year, and I'm putting myself out there, and I'm going after touching base with the card community, which I have been in solo practice for 20 years, and I'm ready to jump into it full steam ahead. I live on an island, so there's only a few collectors over here that I know of, and we do communicate, and we have a card show every month. So that's pretty exciting. And I bought a lot of their cards, and a lot of them are older, and they're getting to the point where their wives want them to sell their cards, and they understand that, it's time for that, and now I'm getting to their collection. It's really fun, really exciting. But yeah, so hopefully you guys can join me in the future, and thank you for watching episode 1 of 31414 baseball cards. Look for me on eBay. I'm a top seller, 31414 sports cards. Yeah, well, that's it. So until next time, I'm going to show off my collections wall in the future, and many more things like my baseball card report when I was, I think, 10 or 12. It's on the wall, and everything else I love about this sport and this hobby and everything there is. All the knowledge I have, I want to share and soak up your guys' knowledge as well. So thank you for watching, and we'll double shock you till next time. You!